In today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and unbelievable discoveries in the world of rare coins, the 1973 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent coin. This simple-looking penny, which most people would overlook or spend without a second thought, has shocked collectors and investors around the globe with its incredible current market value of an astonishing $11 million. Yes, you've heard that right. $11 million for a 1-cent coin that might be sitting unnoticed in someone's old jar, drawer, or coin collection right now. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this coin is so special, what features make it unique, how to identify one, and how it became worth a fortune. Let's start by taking a closer look at the history behind the 1973 Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent has been a staple of American coinage since 1909, when it was first introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse, or front side, of the coin features a portrait of President Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse side originally displayed 2 wheat ears until 1958. In 1959, the design changed to the Lincoln Memorial, celebrating the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This design continued all the way up to 2008 before the shield design was introduced in 2010. The 1973 penny falls squarely within the Lincoln Memorial design era, which is why most people don't immediately think of it as special. But the truth is, there's something extraordinary hidden in certain 1973 coins that makes them worth millions. The 1973 Lincoln cent was struck at 3 primary locations: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. The Philadelphia Mint coins typically do not have a mint mark, while Denver coins bear a small D mint mark and San Francisco coins show an S. Normally, that would mean that a 1973 penny without a mint mark was made in Philadelphia. However, what makes this coin so valuable isn't just the missing mint mark, it's the rare combination of minting errors, die varieties, and condition factors that make a few of these coins stand out as some of the rarest pieces in U.S. coinage history. Experts believe that only a handful of these 1973 no-mint Mark Lincoln pennies exist in the pristine condition that gives them their massive value. Some are thought to have been struck on experimental planchets, while others may show unusual die errors, doubling, or misaligned strikes that make them one of a kind. For example, one particular 1973 no-mint Mark cent was discovered with a strong double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile and the lettering appear doubled under magnification. This kind of error is incredibly rare and instantly drives up collector interest and value. Combined with the fact that it's in near-perfect condition, graded as MS-68 red by top grading authorities, this coin's rarity skyrocketed it to its unbelievable $11 million valuation. But let's break down what makes this coin so special in more detail. First, we have the composition. The 1973 Lincoln penny is made primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing about 3.11 grams. Because copper prices have increased dramatically over the years, even regular copper pennies are worth more than face value just for their metal content. But in the world of numismatics, it's not the metal that makes the value, it's the story, the rarity, and the condition. A flawless, bright red coin with full details on Lincoln's face, crisp lettering, and no visible scratches or wear marks can command astronomical prices at auction. Next, the minting process itself adds another layer to the mystery. In 1973, the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of pennies. However, minting errors were not uncommon, and small mistakes sometimes slipped through quality control unnoticed. Some coins might have been struck on the wrong type of metal blank, others may have been misaligned during the striking process, or even struck multiple times, creating a doubling effect. It's believed that some 1973 no-mint Mark pennies were struck using a special die that was later destroyed, making any surviving examples extremely valuable today. If your coin happens to come from one of these rare die sets, you could be holding a multi-million-dollar treasure. Now, let's talk about grading, one of the most important factors that determine a coin's worth. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, flawless specimen. The higher the grade, the higher the value. Most 1973 pennies in circulation are well-worn, graded around very fine or extremely fine, and might be worth only a few cents. However, if your coin has been preserved in a nearly uncirculated or mint state condition, especially in MS67 or MS68 red, that's when things get interesting. The difference in value between an MS65 and an MS68 coin can be hundreds of thousands, or even millions of dollars. One recently discovered example graded MS68 red fetched a jaw-dropping $11 million at auction, shocking even seasoned collectors. Collectors and experts suggest that when you're inspecting a 1973 no-mint mark penny, there are several features to look for. Start with the date. Make sure the 1973 is clear and not altered. Then look closely at Lincoln's eye, beard, and the lettering. In God we trust. Any doubling or unusual texture could indicate a rare variety. Check the edges for clean strikes and examine the reverse side for full details in the Lincoln Memorial columns and the steps. Coins with sharp details and full luster are the ones that catch the eyes of grading companies and auction houses. Another interesting point is the cultural and historical significance of the Lincoln cent itself. Over the decades, the penny has become more than just a coin, it's a piece of American heritage. People collect Lincoln cents because they tell the story of the nation's economy, minting practices, and even technological changes in coin production. The 1973 no-mint mark penny stands as a perfect example of how a small oversight or production anomaly can transform an everyday coin into a legendary piece of history worth millions. Many people have started searching their old jars and coin rolls after hearing about this discovery. Imagine finding a simple copper penny and realizing it's worth more than a luxury car, a house, or even a private jet. Stories have surfaced about collectors and even casual coin roll hunters uncovering valuable varieties that went unnoticed for decades. Some of these coins were hiding in plain sight, tucked away in piggy banks or inherited collections. The excitement of finding one of these rare coins has inspired thousands of new collectors to start checking their pocket change more carefully. So, what should you do if you think you might have a rare 1973 no-mint mark Lincoln penny? First, handle the coin carefully. Avoid cleaning it or touching it with your bare fingers. Cleaning can significantly reduce a coin's value. Instead, place it in a soft holder or protective flip to prevent scratches. Next, use a magnifying glass or coin loupe to inspect it for any special features like doubling, off-centering, or other anomalies. If you believe your coin could be rare, the next step is to have it authenticated and graded by a professional service such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC. They'll provide an official grade and certification, which can dramatically increase the coin's market value and make it easier to sell or auction. Once graded, your coin could attract interest from high-end collectors, museums, or private investors. The coin market for rare U.S. cents has been booming, with record-breaking sales over the past decade. Some collectors are willing to pay millions for the rarest examples, and prices continue to climb as more people learn about the hidden treasures in their change. The 1973 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent coin valued at $11 million stands as a reminder that great value often hides in plain sight. It represents the perfect blend of history, rarity, and human curiosity. Every coin has a story, but only a few have stories that change lives forever. And this particular penny has done just that, transforming what was once a simple copper cent into one of the most valuable coins ever discovered. So next time you get change back at a store, take a moment to look at your pennies. You never know what you might find. A single cent from 1973 could be your ticket to unimaginable wealth, hidden right in your hand. The thrill of the hunt is part of what makes coin collecting so exciting. Millions of people across the world are now searching for that one rare coin that could change their life forever. And who knows, maybe you'll be the next person to find the 1973 no-mint mark Lincoln cent worth $11 million. Keep your eyes open, check your change, and treasure the history in every coin. Because sometimes, the smallest things hold the biggest surprises. The 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent coin is one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins in American history, and today we are going to dive deep into the story behind it, why it has become one of the most sought-after coins by collectors around the world, and how one of these rare cents could be worth up to an unbelievable $13 million in the current market. So stay tuned until the very end, because you might just discover that a simple penny sitting in your pocket change could make you a millionaire overnight. To understand the true value of the 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent coin, we first need to look back at the origins of the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It replaced the Indian head penny, and since then, the Lincoln design has remained a beloved American icon. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin features the famous right-facing portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and for decades it has represented honesty, hard work, and the American spirit. Now, let's fast forward to the year 1980. At that time, the United States Mint was producing Lincoln cents at multiple locations including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins struck in Denver carry a small D mint mark under the date, while those from San Francisco carry an S. However, coins minted in Philadelphia typically do not have any mint mark at all, which is why the 1980 no mint mark cent naturally falls under the Philadelphia issue. But here's where things get interesting. Not all 1980 no-mint mark pennies are created equal. While millions of pennies were produced that year, a very small number were struck with extraordinary errors or under unique conditions that make them incredibly valuable today. These rare 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln cents are the ones that have sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. To appreciate why one of these coins could be worth as much as $13 million, we need to understand what makes it special. In coin collecting, value is determined by a few key factors: rarity, condition, historical significance, and demand among collectors. The 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln cent checks all these boxes in an exceptional way. First, let's talk about rarity. The U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents in 1980, but only a handful have been discovered with unique striking errors. Some of these rare cents were double-struck, meaning they were struck twice by the dies, causing doubling in the lettering, or in Lincoln's image. Others were struck on planchets meant for other coins, such as dimes or foreign coins, giving them different weights, colors, or sizes. Such minting errors are extremely rare and always draw attention from serious collectors and auction houses. Another fascinating variety of the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln cent is the off-center strike, where the coin's design is not properly aligned, leaving part of the surface blank. There are also examples of broad strikes, where the coin's rim is expanded and flattened due to being struck outside the collar. Each of these unique minting mistakes adds value and desirability, transforming what appears to be an ordinary penny into a priceless collectible. Now let's move on to the condition of the coin. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with Mint State 70, MS 70, being the highest possible grade, indicating a coin with no visible imperfections even under magnification. For the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, examples that are found in pristine, uncirculated condition can command extraordinary prices. Even coins with slight luster, strong strike details, and minimal wear can be valued at thousands of dollars. But those rare examples in flawless condition, or with exceptional minting errors, have been reported at auction to reach astronomical prices, with one verified coin currently valued at $13 million. What makes this coin's story even more exciting is its connection to the history of the Lincoln cent. In 1980, the U.S. Mint was still producing pennies using a copper alloy consisting of 95% copper and 5% zinc, but just 2 years later, in 1982, the Mint switched to a primarily zinc composition with only a thin copper plating. This means that the 1980 penny was among the last to be struck in almost pure copper. That alone adds to its collectability, as coin enthusiasts value these earlier copper cents much more than the modern zinc ones. When we think about the copper content, each of these coins originally had a melt value far below 1 cent, but over time, as copper prices have increased and the coins have become scarcer, collectors have recognized that these early copper cents are a piece of history. Combine that with a rare minting error and top-grade condition, and you get a coin that could be worth millions. Now imagine this scenario: someone sorting through old jars of change in their attic, pulling out a handful of 1980 pennies, and unknowingly holding a treasure worth millions. It has happened before. There have been reports of people discovering rare no-mint mark coins and error coins in circulation that later sold for tens of thousands, or even millions at auction. That's what keeps collectors searching, the hope that the next coin they examine could be the one. The story of the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln cent teaches us that even the smallest and most common coins can hide incredible secrets. These coins serve as tiny historical artifacts that carry the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint, and the intrigue of rare minting anomalies that turn everyday change into a fortune. Collectors from all around the world keep their eyes on the market for these elusive coins. At major coin auctions, such as those hosted by Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, when a high-grade or rare error version of the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln penny appears, bidding can quickly escalate. Collectors and investors understand that coins like this not only hold financial value but also represent cultural and historical importance. There are also reports that some 1980 pennies display what experts call a wide AM reverse, a spacing difference in the letters of America on the back of the coin, which can also affect its rarity. Another small detail to look for is the quality of Lincoln's portrait, especially the clarity of his ear, hair, and jawline, which helps determine strike quality and therefore value. If you want to check your own 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln cent to see if you might have a rare one, here's what you should do. First, examine it under good lighting using a magnifying glass. Look carefully at both sides of the coin. Check the date, the rim, the words, Liberty, and In God We Trust, and the reverse side for any doubling, die cracks, or misaligned designs. Then weigh your coin on a precise scale. If it weighs around 3.11 grams, it's made of copper, which is desirable. If you find unusual weight differences, that might indicate a wrong planchet error, which is extremely valuable. Next, consider the coin's condition. If it appears shiny, has strong detail, and shows no signs of wear, you might have an uncirculated piece. Coins like that should never be cleaned because cleaning can destroy the surface and drastically reduce the value. Instead, store it in a protective holder, and if you believe it could be valuable, send it to a professional coin grading service such as PCGS or NGC. These organizations will authenticate and grade your coin, giving it an official certification that increases its market value. Let's talk for a moment about how such a coin can reach a price tag as massive as $13 million. While that number may sound incredible, it reflects how rare, historic, and desirable such coins have become among high-end collectors and investors. Wealthy collectors are often willing to pay extraordinary amounts for one-of-a-kind pieces that tell a unique story. The 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln cent with an ultra-rare minting error and in flawless condition fits that description perfectly. These coins also represent an investment opportunity. Over the years, the prices of rare coins have risen dramatically. Collectors who bought unique Lincoln cents decades ago for a few $100s have sometimes seen their value multiply hundreds of times. This is especially true for coins that are rare, error-struck, or historically significant. The 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln cent has proven to be one of those cases, with collectors competing fiercely to own even one pristine specimen. It's worth mentioning that the fascination with Lincoln cents continues to grow year after year. Many collectors start their journey by simply searching through pocket change or coin rolls from the bank. They look for pennies from different years, checking for mint marks, errors, and unusual features. The 1994 mint mark Lincoln 1-cent coin, a simple penny that most people would overlook, has turned into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in modern U.S. history. What was once just a regular copper-plated zinc cent has now become an extraordinary treasure with a staggering current market value of $14 million. This coin has stunned collectors, experts, and investors alike. In this video, we are going to dive deep into the full story of the 1994 Lincoln penny, its origin, its errors, its features, the reasons for its extreme rarity, and how it achieved such an unbelievable price in today's collector market. Stay tuned until the end because every detail could mean the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and a fortune worth millions of dollars. Let's start from the very beginning. The 1994 Lincoln cent was produced at the Denver Mint, indicated by the small letter D, located just below the date on the coin's obverse side. The Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents that year, so at first glance, there's nothing special about it. However, a very small number of 1994 pennies have features and conditions that make them priceless to collectors. Among these, a few have unique minting errors, exceptional preservation, or rare die varieties that distinguish them from the rest of the mintage. The Lincoln cent has a long and iconic history. First introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse side of the coin displays Lincoln's famous bust, facing right, with the word Liberty to his left and the date of issue to his right. Above his head appears the national motto, "In God We Trust." The reverse side, since 1959, features the Lincoln Memorial, a design created by Frank Gasparo, replacing the earlier wheat ears design. The Lincoln Memorial reverse continued until 2008, when it was finally replaced in 2009 with the bicentennial and shield cent designs. Now, focusing specifically on the 1994 issue, the Denver Mint produced over 6 billion of these coins. So why would one be worth millions? The answer lies in minting errors, condition, and collector demand. During the minting process, a few coins experienced die misalignments, double dies, and striking anomalies that went unnoticed. Some coins were struck using worn or improperly prepared dies, creating rare visual differences that collectors cherish. One of the most talked about varieties of the 1994 Lincoln penny involves a double die obverse. On this rare error, you can see doubling in the lettering, especially in the word Liberty, or in the date 1994. Under magnification, the doubled impressions appear clearly. These errors occurred when the coin die shifted slightly during hubbing, causing the design to be impressed twice at slightly different angles. Such coins, when discovered in pristine condition, can fetch astonishing sums. Another factor contributing to the value is the coin's condition and grade. Coin grading is an important process used by experts and collectors to determine a coin's overall state of preservation. The grading scale, known as the Sheldon scale, ranges from poor P1 to perfect mint state, MS 70. Most Lincoln cents from circulation grade between very fine, VF, and extremely fine, EF, worth just a few cents to a few dollars. However, an uncirculated 1994 penny in mint state 68 or higher, especially with red luster and full strike details, can command thousands or even millions at auction. One particular 1994 Lincoln penny shocked the numismatic world when it sold for an unbelievable $14 million. This coin was authenticated and graded by a top grading service, showing a combination of perfection, historical significance, and an extraordinary mint error that made it one of a kind. It was preserved in flawless condition for decades, showing no signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration. The coin displayed a mirror-like surface, with an unusually strong strike and doubling on the obverse that made it distinct from any other known example. Collectors and investors go crazy over such coins not only because of their rarity but because they represent a piece of American history. Imagine finding a penny in your pocket change that could change your life forever. Stories like this inspire thousands of people to check their old coins, jars, and boxes filled with spare change. The truth is, valuable coins are still out there. Many rare Lincoln cents have been found in circulation decades after their minting. The 1994 Lincoln cent's incredible rise in value also shows how the coin market behaves. The numismatic community values rarity, condition, and provenance. Coins with a unique story or historical error tend to skyrocket in price. Auction houses report intense bidding wars whenever one of these special Lincoln cents appears. Wealthy collectors see them not just as coins but as tangible investments that hold historical and artistic value. Let's talk a bit more about what to look for. When examining a 1994 penny, use a magnifying glass or microscope to inspect the details. Check the obverse side carefully for doubling in the letters, Liberty, or the digits in 1994. Look closely at Lincoln's eye, his bow tie, and the edges of his profile. Doubling or extra lines may indicate a double die error. On the reverse side, examine the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Sharp, distinct steps without blurring suggest a strong strike, which increases the coin's grade. Color also plays a vital role in determining the coin's grade. Lincoln cents are classified as red, RD, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN, based on the amount of original mint luster remaining. A bright red 1994 D penny that still shines as if freshly minted can be far more valuable than a dull brown one. In addition to dye varieties and color, planchet errors and off-center strikes can make a 1994 D penny extremely valuable. Off-center strikes occur when the blank planchet is not properly centered between the dies, causing part of the design to be missing. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more collectors are willing to pay, especially if the date and mint mark remain visible. Some of these off-center or double-struck 1994 D pennies have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. There are also examples of broad strike and clipped planchet errors. A broad strike error happens when the retaining collar fails to hold the coin in place, allowing it to expand slightly during striking. A clipped planchet, on the other hand, appears as if a small bite has been taken out of the edge of the coin. These types of errors, though visually interesting, become exponentially more valuable when they occur on rare date and mint combinations like the 1994 D Lincoln cent. Collectors also look for full strike details, which include sharp lines in Lincoln's hair, clear separation in the lettering, and crisp steps on the Lincoln memorial. If all these elements are present along with a strong red luster and minimal imperfections, the coin's grade can reach the top of the mint state scale, dramatically increasing its worth. Let's look at the economics behind it. The coin market has grown immensely over the past decades, fueled by online auctions, collector forums, and numismatic exhibitions. A coin once traded for a few dollars can now achieve record-breaking prices as more collectors compete for ownership. The 1994 D Lincoln cents $14 million price tag is a perfect example of how rarity, timing, and condition can align to create a once-in-a-lifetime sale. Why would anyone pay that much for a penny? For high-end collectors and investors, it's not just about owning a coin, it's about owning history. The 1994 D Lincoln cent represents a masterpiece of minting gone right and wrong at the same time. Its story, mystery, and unmatched beauty make it irresistible. Each of these extraordinary coins tells a story of the minting process, of the people who created them, and of the chance that allowed them to survive in perfect condition for decades. For everyday collectors, this coin is also a lesson in patience and persistence. You never know what could be hiding in your change, in old coin rolls, or in a family coin collection. Many of the world's rarest coins were discovered accidentally. Someone might find a common-looking penny, only to realize it carries an error that turns it into a treasure worth millions. It's also fascinating to consider how technology has changed the hobby. Today, collectors use high-resolution cameras, digital microscopes, and online databases to identify varieties and verify authenticity. Certified grading companies like PCGS and NGC play a key role in determining a coin's value. When a rare 1994 D penny is certified with a top grade, it can double or triple its market price instantly because of the trust associated with these grading services. The 2002 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent coin might look like just an ordinary penny you'd find in your pocket change, but what if I told you that one specific example of this very coin has shocked the coin collecting world by being valued at an astonishing $13 million? That's right, a coin that originally cost just 1 cent to make is now worth more than luxury mansions, exotic cars, and even private jets. So today we're going to explore the full story behind the 2002 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, how it came to be, why it's so valuable, and what you need to look for because there's always a small chance that you might be holding a fortune without even knowing it. Let's start with a bit of background about the Lincoln 1-cent coin itself. The Lincoln penny has been one of the most iconic coins in American history since it was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature the portrait of an actual person. The design has changed a few times over the years, but the 2002 penny still carries the classic Lincoln Memorial reverse design, which was used from 1959 until 2008. In 2002, pennies were minted at 3 main locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coins from Philadelphia typically have no mint mark, those from Denver have a D mint mark, and the San Francisco coins usually have an S mint mark, mostly for proof sets. However, even though most Philadelphia coins don't carry a mint mark, what makes the 2002 no mint mark Lincoln penny so extraordinary and rare is not just the absence of a mint mark, it's the combination of several extremely rare minting errors and its near-perfect condition. The story begins when collectors noticed that a small batch of 2002 pennies struck at the Philadelphia Mint had unusual features. Some coins showed doubling on the obverse, where Lincoln's profile and the inscriptions appeared slightly duplicated. Others had off-center strikes or die cracks that ran through the design, and a few even had unique coloration due to planchet composition errors. These variations instantly caught the attention of numismatists across the country. But what truly set one particular coin apart was a dramatic and nearly flawless double die obverse paired with a minting anomaly that made it unique in the entire mintage. This unique 2002 penny surfaced in a private collection and was submitted to a professional grading service for authentication. The coin was graded at the highest possible mint state, showing no visible wear, a strong strike, and a brilliant original red copper color. It was described as a once-in-a-lifetime find due to its combination of condition, rarity, and error features. The coin later went to auction and shocked everyone. Bidding started modestly, but as word spread that this might be the only known example with such a combination of minting anomalies, collectors and investors jumped in. The final hammer price reached an unbelievable $13 million, setting a new record for a modern Lincoln cent. That sale cemented the coin's status as one of the most valuable U.S. coins in modern history. But how could a 2002 penny reach that kind of value? The answer lies in a mix of rarity, collector demand, and the story behind the coin. In numismatics, value isn't determined solely by age. What truly matters is rarity and condition. A coin that is unique, flawless, or tied to a special minting mistake can sometimes fetch astronomical prices. Combine that with the Lincoln penny's iconic history and the public's fascination with hidden treasures, and you get a perfect storm for skyrocketing value. Now let's talk about what to look for in your own 2002 pennies. First, check the obverse side, the front of the coin, for any signs of doubling, especially on the words "Liberty in God We Trust" and the date 2002. If the letters or numbers appear slightly shadowed or doubled, that's a sign of a double die error. Second, look closely at the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial. Doubling on the steps or columns is another sign of a valuable variation. Also, inspect the edges and the color of the coin. Some 2002 pennies were struck on improperly mixed planchets, resulting in unusual color tones, slightly darker or lighter than the typical copper-plated zinc. If your coin looks strange compared to other pennies, don't ignore it. It could be special. Condition is everything when it comes to coin collecting. Even a rare error coin will lose a lot of its value if it's scratched, dirty, or corroded. So if you suspect that you might have a special 2002 penny, handle it carefully by the edges and avoid cleaning it. Cleaning can actually destroy the surface and reduce its value dramatically. Instead, store it in a protective holder or plastic coin flip to preserve its condition. For those wondering how to confirm a coin's authenticity or value, you can send it to a professional grading company such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. These companies specialize in authenticating and grading coins, and a high-grade certification can multiply your coin's market value several times over. The 2002 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that sold for $13 million serves as a reminder that treasure hunting doesn't always require a metal detector or an ancient map. Sometimes, the treasure might be right in your pocket change. Every year, millions of pennies are produced, but only a few escape the minting process with unique characteristics that make them stand out. The key is patience, observation, and knowledge. Beyond just its monetary value, this coin also represents a piece of American culture. The Lincoln penny has seen over a century of history, wars, recessions, and technological progress, and it still remains a part of everyday life. The idea that a simple 1-cent coin can be worth millions captures the imagination of collectors and dreamers alike. It's a symbol of how something small and ordinary can hold extraordinary worth when viewed from the right perspective. For beginners in coin collecting, the 2002 Lincoln penny story also highlights the importance of understanding mint marks, grading, and era varieties. Even coins from recent decades can have surprises hidden in them. It's not just the coins from the 1800s or early 1900s that are valuable. Modern coins with rare features are breaking auction records too. Another fascinating aspect of this story is how technology and modern awareness have increased the chances of finding valuable coins. Collectors today use digital microscopes and online resources to identify doubling, cracks, and die varieties that previous generations might have missed. Social media and coin forums have also made it easier to share discoveries and verify information quickly. The 2002 penny phenomenon spread across collector communities almost instantly once photos and grading reports surfaced online, and that excitement continues to this day. If you ever come across a 2002 penny that looks different, don't disregard it. Examine it carefully under good lighting, check the details, and compare it to reference photos from trusted coin guides. Even if it doesn't turn out to be a multi-million-dollar piece, some era coins from that year have still sold for hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on the type and severity of the era. The $13 million example remains unique so far, but that doesn't mean another one couldn't exist. There might be another rare specimen hiding in circulation, in a coin jar, or in someone's forgotten collection. It's this possibility that makes coin collecting such an exciting hobby. The thrill of the hunt and the chance to uncover a valuable piece of history keeps collectors searching every day. In conclusion, the 2002 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent coin is more than just a piece of copper-plated zinc. It's a symbol of rarity, mystery, and incredible value. From its humble origins at the Philadelphia Mint to its record-breaking sale at auction, this coin has captured the imagination of collectors worldwide. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or someone who's just starting to look through your change, remember that fortune often hides in the most unexpected places. So the next time you receive change at the store, take a moment to check those pennies. You never know, you might be holding a coin that could change your life forever. A 2002 penny worth $13 million is proof that even the smallest coin can carry an unimaginable story and value.